Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Plan It Till You Make It. I hope you guys are doing well as always. So today I am doing the long promised, the long awaited 2026 planner lineup. First, I would like to apologize. I know I said I was going to do Vlogmas, but y'all, life has been lifing. There has been so many events that came up in December that I did not anticipate. So I'm sorry. I am still going to try my ultimate best to put out all the planner setup videos for you guys. So at least you guys can see how I'm playing for the new year and how I'm using the Play to Make It Planner to have a productive 2026 year. Okay. So without further ado, let me introduce you guys to the planners I'll be using. I know. I know. I can explain. Just a little background. Going into the new year, I told you guys I am not overcomplicating my planning system. And what I mean by that is I'm just not using a bunch of different planners for my planner lineup. I'm going to use what has been working for me the year before, and I would like to carry over going into the new year. Now, I know this might be a little bit confusing. I'm going to try to make it as comprehensive as I possibly can. I do have quite a few things I'm going to go through. Some of it might not make sense to you now, but hopefully when I post the setup videos, all of it will make more sense. And of course, you guys can always drop it in the comment section if there's something you're confused about, you don't understand why I'm using a certain planner or a certain thing. Please feel free to drop it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer that. Okay, so let's get into it. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, I mentioned I have things I track in my life, my yearly goals. My faith is very important to me, so I do have different systems for that. My health, my budget, and all of those things. You'll see what I use for each of those areas of my life. First and foremost, this is the planner I use for 2025. This is the Play It to Make It 2025 planner. This is the system I'm going to continue to use going into the new year. Now, the only thing that did not work well for me in previous years before 2025, I've done Franken planning. And what that means in the planner community is that you take different planners and you put them into one, which we sometimes refer to as our catch-all planner. So every areas of our lives, we just put it in one planner. 2025, I did not do that. And that was a big mistake on my part. I love the Play It to Make It planner so much as one thing. I just didn't feel comfortable pulling it apart and adding other things in there. I found out quickly that was a mistake because one thing about my planning system is I love to have everything in one planner. When I have everything in one planner, I'm more likely to use it. So what I'm doing 2026, I'm going to most likely keep 3 months in here at a time because the Plan to Make It system breaks your goals down into quarterly sections. I'm going to keep a quarter at a time in here, and then I'm going to add other sections in here. Again, that will make more sense once I do my setup video. Now, the planner I'm using for 2026. This is the Plan to Make It 2026 Goals Planner. That is what I'll be using as my main planner, catch-all planner. This is the one I'll be using to Franken plan. Now, I will create a separate video going into details about the Play to Make It planner. What is it all about? But just briefly, it is a goals planner. It gives you space where you can choose 6 different categories of your life. I don't tell you what those categories are. I allow you space to choose those categories. What it allows you to do is think of as many goals as you would like to accomplish for the new year for that category, and it breaks it down into quarterly, monthly, and weekly goals so that by the end of the year you would have accomplished most of the goals you have set for the new year. So I'll go into details in a separate video about the Play to Make It planner. So next, I'm going to show you guys the different sections I'm going to add into the Play to Make It planner to create my Franken plan / catch-all planner. These next sections, remember I told you guys for certain parts of my planner, I was just going to create some inserts to have in the planner. So that's what I'm going to show you guys now. Again, most of it will make sense when I set up my 2026 planners. So starting off, this is the social media insert. So all I have here is kind of a half sheet to track some numbers for different social media platforms that I have. And inside of it, I have a year at a glance. And I also have this year at a glance, which is also from the Plan to Make It planner if you've used the Plan to Make It planner before. Again, I don't have a social media planner. I only have a yearly overview and a monthly overview. And I'm only keeping a month at a time in my catch-all planner. Next is the family budget planner. I remember I told you guys most of the family budget I do on an Excel sheet. This is a place where I can have an overview of the bills that are due. I'm able to see where there's an increase in certain bills, where there's an increase in our utilities, just to keep track of that throughout the year. In case the Excel sheet is not accessible to me, I can just open this and know exactly what is due and know exactly the changes that has been made to our bills. It's the same idea for my personal budget, year overview, monthly overview, and some inserts I created to track my bills. Next, business insert, again, very boring. Year at a glance. The only things I'm missing are some notes pages, which I'm going to add when I do my setup video. But again, I don't need a business planner because my business mostly consists of just writing down ideas, and if there's a specific thing I need to do for a specific date, it'll be in the main monthly overview in my catch-up planner. That way I'm able to see it and take care of that deadline. The next section going in my planner is the health section of my planner. One thing I want to start doing this year, tracking any symptoms I have throughout the year. So if I have a headache, just maybe write it down and just try to notice if there are any trends with anything when I feel ill, if I catch a cold, just to see if there's a pattern with my symptoms. So I'll be adding them here, and I'll probably be tracking my workouts in here also. So when I reach all my workout goals for the day, I'll probably put that in here just so I can have an overview and see how I'm doing with my wellness. This also, I'll have it in case when I go to the doctor and they have certain questions for me. I'll be able to use this to answer those questions. And also, if there's anything that's concerning my health, I can always have a record of it. When I go to the doctor, I can have that information readily available for them. And also, I have a period tracker here too that I created on Canva. And last but not least is my reading journal. Now I'm debating whether I want to keep my reading journal inside my catch-all planner or if I want to have a different section for that. Since my catch-all planner will consist of things I need to look at on a daily basis, I might not have this in there because my goal is to read about two books a month. So I'm not really looking at my reading journal so much throughout the week. So I don't want to add the extra bulk in my planner. If my planner can take it, maybe, but all in all, I'll probably have a different section for that. Now the next things in my lineup are my journals. My faith is something that is very important to me. So I like to have a place where I can track that. I have a prayer journal. I have a regular journal where I just write down my thoughts. And lately I've also been doing my gratitude journaling in there. Two things I'm going to introduce in my journaling system is a Bible study journal and a memory keeping journal. So this is my journaling stack. I'm going to go through each of them for you guys. This is my prayer journal. This is what I've been using throughout the year. I used to combine this with my regular journal, and I think I tried that two different times. It just doesn't work for me. I prefer to have them separated. I keep my prayer journal. This is a Live Love Posh cover. I just feel more comfortable having this close. There's a lot of names in here, and I want to keep people's privacy. So I'm just a bit more comfortable with having this. Again, my faith is something that is very important to me, so that is something I'm going to continue to have. I won't do a flip through of this for obvious reasons. I'll probably show you guys, just give you guys an example of how I set it up, and that's about it. But I'll probably not go into too much detail on this one when I set up the video. You probably can't see this one too much because of the lighting, but this is my regular journal. This is what I use. I just jot down my thoughts, whatever is going on my mind, whatever I need to talk to God about. This is where I put this in. This is different from my prayer journal. My prayer journal consists mostly of prayer requests. When someone asks me to pray for them about something, it goes in my prayer journal. But this one is more about just writing down. This one is more about just writing down whatever is on my mind. This is where I do my gratitude journaling. And this is also where I write down my dreams. If I have a dream about something, I'll write it down in here. So this is what this one is for. What I'll probably do here, I'll probably put a month at a glance, maybe just move my gratitude journaling in a month overview so I can see it all at once. But I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. But this is what I'm using for my regular journaling. Next is my Bible study journal. I apologize in advance that I won't be able to show you guys what it is, but I so desperately want to show you guys what I'm using for my Bible study journal. But the creator behind this journal, she created it. She hasn't shared it with the world. And because it is for her to share with the world, I don't want to take that away from her. But this is what I've been using. It is such an amazing Bible study journal, and I know it's going to change lives. But she hasn't had it. She hasn't released it yet. But as soon as she does, I will show you guys. I'll give you guys a complete flip through. I'll ask her for her permission. Maybe I can add her Instagram in the description section. But her Instagram, she posts verses, she posts words of encouragement. But I'll ask for her permission. But this is what I'll be using as my Bible study journal. When I get permission from the creator, I'll share more with you guys. So this one is the last one in my journals. I'm going to try something different. I've never done memory keeping before, and this is a place where I would like to start that. That is one another new thing I'm going to introduce to my planning system. I see the girlies do it, and I enjoy watching it. I heard someone say that nobody owns anything anymore. Our pictures on or in the cloud. We take pictures and we forget about them. This is a place where I would like to have physical copies of pictures, memorable family moments that I would like to keep track of. I'm going to put them in here. Again, I'll probably not share that because that's also going to be a private thing. But I really want to get into memory keeping just to have something passed on to the next generation so they can always look back and look at the pictures and look at the things we've accomplished as a testament of the faithfulness of God and how faithful God has been to our family. I just want to have a physical place to keep track of that. I'll probably not do too much writing in this. I'll probably just have a picture and just write down what happened that day or what have you. But I'm really excited. This is one of those things I'm really excited about. So some other things that are not specifically planners for these notepads that I have been using. I have some here ready to go when I'm done with these. I use these notepads every single day. Let me show you. This is the daily one. I use this notepad every single day. My day doesn't start until I write down everything I need to do for that day. It's different from my catch-up planner because my catch-up planner is where I write a weekly overview of what I need to get done for the week. But this is where I can break down every single thing. I have a section where you can write down your schedule depending on when you start your day. Like I said, I start my day at different time depending on when I wake up. So this is the section where I do that. For that one, I have it starting at 10 a.m. And what I would do is I will go in and write the admin tasks I have for the day. I write my priorities. I write my goal for the day and other things I need to get done. This goes perfectly with the Plan to Make It Goals planner. I created specifically for that so that you can write down what is your one goal for the day. Next is the weekly list. This is what I use for when I need to plan for social media in case I have something that comes up during the day that I need to write in my planner that I'm just not ready to commit to yet. This is where I write it. This is where I write it down. It is exactly 7 by 9.25. And I also made the pages perforated. That way you can just rip it out and just put it in your planner if you need to. This one I use every single week, and these stay in rotation in my planning system. And last but not least, this is the task list. I think you guys see this one most often. This one, when I have a lot going on, I have so many things I need to break down and kind of create a strategy on how I'm going to get it done. This is the notepad I use. I'll have personal tasks. I'll have business tasks. I'll have school tasks. It's just things I'm just probably not ready to commit into my planner yet. But as it comes to mind, I just write it down in here. And when the time comes, I just put it in my planner. This I use mostly as a brain dump. I use this as a strategy list. I use this just to categorize things because that's how my mind works. My mind works in categories. So this right here is perfect. I cannot say I have a favorite in these notepads because they all serve their purpose. I can't have one without the others. And that is it. That is my 2026 planner lineup. Like I said, I'm not complicating my planning system. I know some of you might look at this and find this very complicating, but trust me when I tell you, every single thing I have showed you here, they all serve their purpose in my planning system. And the only new things I'm adding to my planning system is my Bible study journal and the memory keeping journal. When I'm introducing something into my planning system, it has to have a place. It has to serve a purpose. If it doesn't have a place and it doesn't serve a purpose, like I say, I'm going to forget about it. This is how I make sure I'm staying intentional with my planning system and not causing myself burnout. So if you have any questions about anything I use here, again, like I say, most of this will make sense once I set up my planning system. If you have any questions, if you're confused about anything, please do not hesitate to put it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. That's it. Bye.